Welcome to the Chester County Intermediate Unit Virtual College Fair. We're so excited to have you participating in this event. We have some fantastic schools here with us today. My name is Matt, and I will be your facilitator. Before we get started, a few housekeeping items. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. After this session, I will be posting a link in the chat. We invite you to join a breakout room with all of the college representatives that presented this hour. The breakout room will last approximately 15 minutes between the end of this session and before the next session begins. This presentation is being recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/Chester County. And now I'd like to turn things over to our first presenter, Clemson University.
Thank you, Matt, for the introduction. Hi, everyone. My name is Morgan Rutland. I'm an undergraduate admissions counselor at Clemson, and I'm also a proud alum of the university. Really quickly, I'd love to share with you guys some admissions information when applying to Clemson and some information about our university in general. So we will jump in. So Clemson falls on that medium to large size university. We have about 20,000 undergraduate students on our campus, and this map can give you a better idea of where those students are coming from. So primarily the East Coast, and then moving out from there, and it is an even 50-50 split male-female on our campus as well. Clemson's application process is pretty simple. The only three things you have to complete are: one, your application. We have 3 different applications, and we don't have a preference for one over the other. After that, you'll get access to your applicant portal, and that contains your next step, which is your self-reported academic record. So you'll use that link to self-report your grades, GPA, all of that information, and then you'll want to make a decision about submitting test scores. Clemson is test optional for at least 1 more year, so you can decide if you want to submit test scores or not as part of your review at Clemson. Within that portal, you'll also see the link to Clemson's Honors College. That is a separate application process, and they have a few different requirements than we do for just general admission. Here's some of the top things we take into consideration when making our admissions decisions. First is going to be your high school performance. So looking at your weighted GPA through the end of your junior year, the rigor of your courses, class rank, if that's offered by your school. We'll take a look at those test scores if you're deciding to submit those. Your choice of major plays a part in our decision-making, as well as residency for South Carolina students versus out-of-state students. And then any additional optional material you've decided to include. We don't require essays, letters of recommendation, resumes, interviews, anything like that, but you're welcome to submit any additional material that you would like to, and we'll gladly include that in your review. Here you can also see a list of all the different majors that are offered at Clemson. Our Clemson Degrees website gives a really great interactive list of these where you can learn more about each individual one. Lots of great options here, but 2 of our most popular colleges are going to be the College of Business and College of Engineering. On your application, it's going to ask you to choose 2 choices of major. We do direct admit to majors at Clemson, so make sure you're keeping that in mind, and we do encourage students to put 2 different choices of major in that application process. This gives you a snapshot of our freshman profile. So this is based off the students that are in their freshman year at Clemson right now. We got a huge jump in applications last year, about 47,000, but we were still able to admit around half of those students for a class of about 4,600. Here you can also see our middle 50% for test scores. We don't have minimums, but that is a good middle ground to shoot for when you're planning to submit those standardized tests. And as I mentioned, we are test optional for at least 1 more year, so you can decide if you want those included. Transitioning more to some of the resources that are available to our students, Clemson tries to keep their class sizes as small as possible. So the average class size is typically about 30 to 32, And only 5% of all of the classes offered on our campus are going to be in that bigger lecture hall with maybe 100 students or so. Our faculty members are readily available to speak with our students. They all have drop-in office hours throughout the week, so you can always pop into their office, get a quick answer to a question you had about what you talked about in class that day, or have a more in-depth conversation about if you're thinking of changing your major or something like that. We also offer a couple of fast-track degree programs. So once you get to Clemson, you might decide that you want to pursue graduate school. And you can start working on those master level classes as an undergrad and complete both of those degrees in a much shorter amount of time. We're also very thankful to have one of the top career services in the country, and they provide so many different resources for our students, whether that be helping them find internship and co-op opportunities, both in the Clemson area and almost anywhere else in the US as well. They help our students write their resumes, prepare for interviews, prepare for career fairs that are held every single semester to make sure that when our students are jumping into that job market, they are fully prepared students to do so. Clemson also has a 96% employment rate, and that means 96% of Clemson grads within 6 months after graduation are either already employed or they have plans to continue their education in some type of postgraduate degree, either at Clemson or somewhere else. And that's a huge indicator that this Clemson degree you're about to work so hard for is translating into whatever you're deciding to do next. And that includes staying in South Carolina, going to other parts of the US, as well as internationally. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to hear a little bit more about Clemson. Feel free to put any questions that you have in the Q&A, and thank you for your time.
Thanks very much, Morgan. Next up is High Point University. Looks like you're muted, Tyler.
Can you guys hear me now? I think I'm.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I'm sorry about that. My name's Tyler. I am from High Point University, located in High Point, North Carolina. We're a small, medium-sized school, about 5,000 students, that keeps class sizes around 19 students with a 15-to-1 student to faculty ratio. So if you like that smaller class size, High Point is perfect for that. To start off, I do want to go through our 4 pillars that High Point is built off of. The first one, academic excellence. Make sure you get in the education that you're coming to college for. The second one is experiential learning. Now this is kind of like every class that you take at High Point, 25% of your time in the class is going to be hands-on. That's going to be in the labs, working with small businesses, doing internships, kind of different things like that, depending on which class and which major you choose. We are the premier life skills university, so we have a really big focus on developing those life skills, such as communication, persuasive speaking, time management, having a growth mindset, being coachable when you get outside of college as well. The last pillar that we're built on is modeling values and building character. We know that your parents, while you were growing up, built the character and your values within you. So we want to extend those to you as well. We do that through various service opportunities on campus, having the ability to give back to the community. High Point University and the town of High Point itself are kind of hand in hand when it comes to service. We help them, they help us as well. Going over some of the top majors that we have at High Point of incoming freshmen. We do have a good amount of students coming in undeclared. We have what we call project discovery to work with those students who are undeclared, undecided. They kind of work with your strengths, your weaknesses, things that you're interested in. They find those perfect classes that fit what you like. That way that you can find a major that fits your interest the best. Some of the other big ones we have are business, a lot of health sciences, communication, entrepreneurship, things like that. And all of these are big choices because of what the learning labs that we provide on campus for the students as well. So all of the labs on campus are going to be state-of-the-art facilities, updated on a yearly basis so that all the academics, every class that you're taking, you're learning on the newest up-to-date equipment as well. For the health sciences, we have a human biomechanics and physiology lab. We have a conservatory on campus. The picture that you see there is our planetarium. If you go more communications route, you want to be like a news anchor, we have a news and radio station on campus, a full newsroom, production studio, things like that as well. If you go more business route, we have a replica BB&T executive boardroom so that you're used to giving presentations in front of a large group of people as well. One of the big things that we like to do at High Point is make sure students have access to people who have been successful in the field they want to go to. So we have a program that we call Access to Innovators. These are professionals that you see pictured here, Steve Wozniak of Apple, Mark Randolph of Netflix, St. Marshall of the Dallas Mavericks. These are people that we bring onto campus. They either teach a class or hold competitions, hold Q&A sessions, get to communicate with students. Students can reach out to them with any questions they have. So students can get that forefront, answers from someone who's already been in their shoes, someone who's been successful at what they're doing. That way they can get feedback on what they're working on, whether it be projects, any business plans that they have, different things like that as well. The reason High Point is known as the premier life skills university, our president, Nita Cobain, went out to businesses and found out why students are failing after graduation. He got a list of about 6 or 7 back, like I was saying, those public speaking, times management, presentation skills. So he himself teaches a class to all freshmen. It'll be the biggest class you take on campus that kind of just plants the seed of those life skills. So those life skills, he plans to see that you're going to learn about them in every class while you're at High Point. Some of the other life skills that we help teach you, you see listed there is 1924 Prime. That is a steakhouse that we have on campus for students. They can go once a week. As a student, you can go once a week. You kind of learn fine dining etiquette. That way, when you're at dinner, you're in a meeting, a business meeting, you're going to know which fork to use, how to properly eat your meals. Again, it's a steakhouse on campus for students. It's just one of those learning labs that we have, so that way you're prepared for the outside world. Like you see in the picture behind me, we have a very purposeful campus. Everything is clean, pristine. Everything looks really nice. We want to make sure that you're learning in an environment that inspires you and that you feel like we care about you. So we have teams working around the hour to make sure it's clean, make sure everything is up to par, so that way when you leave, you know that High Point University cares about you as a student and what you want to do outside of school as well. So before I go over the application deadlines, I do want to go over just a few different facts about High Point. We are 80% out of state, so that gives us the ability to be a 7-day-a-week campus. We don't have a football team, but we are a D1 school, so we do have those sporting events you can attend if you would like to. If not, if you're more into clubs, activities, things like that, religious-based clubs, we do have over 200 plus clubs and organizations on campus. If there's a club that you want to start and we don't already have it on campus, our Student Government Association is very active. You can reach out to them and figure all that out as well so that you can start up that club. You see the deadlines listed there. November 1st for early decision, November 15th for early action. Here is my information if you need any of that. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out.
Thanks so much. Next up is Elon University.
Good evening, everyone. It is great to be with you. My name is Kevin Knapp, and I serve here at Elon as Associate Dean of Admissions. So I'd love to share a little bit more about what makes Elon unique. So we're going to dive right in. And here in our first slide, I want to talk a little bit about our student body and where we are. So we are home to almost 6,200, a little over 6,200 undergraduate students. And our students hail from all over. About 76% of our students come from outside the state of North Carolina. And that leaves the other 24% for in-state residents. Our students also come from about 50 or so different countries, as well as about 46 different states here in the US. You can see the map of North Carolina. We're not too far away from both Greensboro and the Raleigh-Durham area. We highlight those two areas. It's where a lot of students will fly in and out of for attending in the fall or spring, and then also for breaks. Those are also great cities for internships and locations for hanging out with your friends and doing some new things. But again, a great student life environment with students from all over the US and from students from all over the world. Looking at academics, Elon offers over 70 different programs of study for majors and minors, and those 70 plus programs are housed in these 5 areas. Vast majority of our programs are direct admit, which means you do not need to worry about a secondary process, other than for some of our performing arts programs. So if you're looking at dance, musical theater, or acting, that will require a separate application and an audition process. I want to highlight just real briefly our newest addition to these schools and opportunities, and that's our School of Health Sciences, which is offering a new nursing degree for our undergraduate students. So we're very excited about that. And if you're interested in nursing, we'd love to chat more. When it comes to the in-classroom experience, I think Elon is really excelling in creating a small, intimate environment where you as a student can really get to know faculty and faculty can get to know you. We have a 13-to-1 student to faculty ratio. Our average class size is 21 students, but we cap all of our classes at 33. That's true from your freshman year all the way through your senior year. So even some of your introductory classes will still be capped at that 33 mark. And then lastly, the Koningsberger Learning Center is a great support office, helping our students with everything from learning differences to tutoring and making sure that you are set up to succeed inside of the classroom. Lastly, 100% of our faculty are teaching your courses. That means that teaching assistants or graduate assistants are never teaching classes, and that way you have plenty of access to all of our wonderful faculty members. All right, here at Elon, we really believe the best way our students learn is by doing, by getting your hands involved in a variety of areas. We believe in that concept so much that every student, no matter what your major, will all complete at least 2 out of these 5 options that you see on the screen. We call these the Elon Experiences. And so we're certainly not unique in the fact that we offer these, but certainly I think a little bit unique in the fact that we do require at least 2 out of 5 before you graduate. So about 80% of our students will study abroad at some point during their Elon experience. Internships are far and wide. We have amazing staff and faculty to help you get plugged into an internship experience, undergraduate research, serving in our community, getting involved in a leadership position, and then once again, going abroad at some point in your career. Study abroad can also be completed during the month of January, which we actually designate as its own separate academic term. So we have our fall term, our winter term for that 1 month, and then our spring term. So another little interesting or unique fact about Elon. This slide here, I think, kind of falls in the category of the questions that you're probably the top of mind for you, right? As a high school student, I hope that you're thinking about a lot of areas of college and what you want, but I'm certain that probably dining, housing, and activities are probably the top of your list. I can promise you, without going into too much detail because of time, there's a lot of great options in all 3 of those categories. Once again, we can talk more through the chat later. I don't have time to go into all 3 of these areas, but I will highlight the last one: 284 different clubs and organizations, 17 Division I varsity teams. So a lot to offer here. Great events to attend as a fan, or if you're a student athlete, we'd love to get you plugged in and connecting with our coaches and staff. All right, so as we wrap up here, I want to highlight our application process. Our application is available on both the Common App and on our website at elon.edu. We have no preference which one you choose. It's the same application, it's the same essays. We have 3 different deadlines. You can see those here. Early decision and early action are both due on November the 1st, and then regular deadline is due on January the 10th. On the extracurricular side, we will look at all of your activities from 9th through 12th grade, as well as your essay and anything else that is really meaningful to you. That could be work experience, that could be an internship. So whatever is meaningful, please list that on your application. Recommendation letters are not required, but if you had them or have them, we'll gladly look those over and add them to your application and your record. You'll see our weighted GPA of a 3.5 to a 4.5. Keep in mind that does take into consideration any advanced classes that you've taken in high school. So if you've taken AP, dual enrollment, IB, we take all of that into consideration as part of our review process. Test scores, like many of my peer institutions here, are also test optional for Elon, and we are in year 2 of a 3-year pilot program for being test optional. So there's not a need to submit those for scholarship purposes or for the application or for admissions purposes. And then lastly, January 17th is another big deadline for our different scholarship programs. So that's all for me. Thank you all so much, and look forward to chatting more via the Q&A.
Thank you very much. And next up is Eckerd College.
All right. Hello, everyone. share my screen really quickly. So I am excuse me. I'm an admission counselor at Eckerd. I also am a recent graduate in May. And I just decided I couldn't leave, so I wanted to stick around. But we'll dive in. So this is a picture, an aerial picture of campus. We are located in St. Petersburg, Florida, on the Gulf Coast. Everything in this picture is not campus, just the main, I can't really point to you, but the center of the picture is. Now, let's see here. So this is a map just displaying where our students are coming from. So you can see here that it's quite the the diverse array of students, and on average our students are traveling over 1,000 miles to be at Eckerd. So I think that goes to show that most students, when you arrive on campus, don't know anyone else. So I always tell my students that it's not like you're going all the way down to Florida and cannot be excluded from the get-go. Everyone's really on the same page there. And so this is also the layout of our academic calendar. It's a 4-1-4, and so each number value is emblematic of how many courses you'll be taking during that term. So for instance, 4 in the fall, 1 in the month of January, or how we call it is winter term, and then 4 in the spring. In this month of January, that's actually where a lot of students do travel abroad. But I'll get into that in a second. And then, your first year, it will look more like a 1-4-4. So instead of taking a winter term, you'll take an autumn term. And so that is really our orientation period, but it's much more as well. So you'll be taking your first academic class. So it is a full semester course meshed into 3 weeks. So that means you'll be in class Monday to Friday, 3 hours a day. And outside of class, you'll be going to different orientation events, going to see different speakers that come to campus, meeting your faculty mentor, and these sort of things. So we find it really helpful, one, because our students generally are coming from quite a ways away, and that that first month of college is usually a difficult one, or more difficult than normal, just because it's a transition period and whatnot. So we find it helpful for our students to, before the fall semester starts and gets really busy really quickly, to already have, a college level course under your belt, an understanding of the layout of campus. You already have friends, et cetera, et cetera. So now this is a picture of all our areas of study. So I'll pause here briefly, but please take a picture. So move on in a second. But marine science is our flagship major. So we're one of the most competitive marine science programs in the nation. But not all of our students are studying that. So it's about a third natural science, a third social science, and a third the rest, really made up of mainly business or communication, humanities, and the arts. So this is a picture of our beach on campus. It's called South Beach. Students really like to come out here and watch sunset, take a break from homework, throw the Frisbee, whatever. It's really a communal area for our students. Also pictured here is a dog, so we are pet friendly. You're welcome to bring a range of different pets to campus. And down the sidewalk from there is our waterfront, one of the most extensive collegiate waterfront programs in the country. Pretty much you name it, we have it. Sailboats, a bunch of different types of sailboats. Actually, we offer sailing courses for those who don't know. Paddleboards, kayaks, canoes, camping equipment, all of the rest. So now moving to the application process, we're on the Common App. Again, we have our own application on our website. We'll need an official high school transcript, 1 letter of recommendation from an academic source, be that a teacher, a guidance counselor, whatnot. As most other schools at this point on this panel, we're test optional this year, next year, as well as last year. We do mean that, so we're not showing any bias if you submit test scores or not. And so the 2 ways of applying are going to be early action and rolling. Early action is not early decision. So you can apply to us, early action, get in elsewhere and go elsewhere. It's really just giving you a lot more time in your decision. So as you'll see there, you'll hear back by the 15th of December, as long as you make the deadline, which is the 15th of November. And if you don't do that, you can go ahead and do our standard rolling admission. So now I'll mention this. Eckerd is a part of the group of colleges that are dubbed the colleges that change lives. So it's based on a book that Lauren Pope wrote. And he quoted saying, Eckerd College might seem like the perfect spot for an easy college career, 4 years marked by sun, surf, and sand. But if you're looking for a vacation, you should enroll elsewhere. And, you know, I think I've read this chapter, of course. I think there's other better quotes out there, but based on the disposition of this presentation, you know, we're really just showing that, yes, we have a beach on campus and allow pets, and it looks like a really chill, fun spot, which it is. But that doesn't sacrifice from our students' determination in the classroom and ambition as well. So if you see the beach and you're really keying in on that point only, you're not too keen on the academics, maybe it might not be the best fit. But that said, thank you for listening. I'm going to throw my contact information in the chat. Take care.
Thanks so much. Up next, we have the University of South Carolina.
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Samantha Murray, and I am the regional representative for the University of South Carolina. I'm hopefully going to go over all of this information fairly quickly. And then if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Just to go over some general information, we are a fairly large institution with over 27,000 total undergrad. We recruit 42% out of state. Pennsylvania is actually ranked 7th amongst our top 10 states that we get the most amount of students from out of state. New Jersey is 2nd and New York is 5th. So we do recruit a lot from the Northeast area, but as you can see, we have student representation from all 50 states in over 100 different countries. So we are a fairly diverse institution in that way. The University of South Carolina is very thankful to have over 60 nationally ranked programs, meaning that we have more nationally ranked programs than all of the other institutions in the state of South Carolina combined, which we're really proud of. And while we are a fairly large institution, our student to professor ratio is only 17:1. And between all of our majors, minors, and degree completion programs, we have over 300 different ways that a student can complete an undergraduate degree at the university. These are just some of the, these are the 11 colleges and universities that we have within the College of University of South Carolina. So all of your majors are going to be housed in these in these either colleges or schools. 11 of them are academic based. The 12th one at the bottom is our honors college. We are the #1 ranked honors college in the country amongst public institutions. We're ranked 3rd in the nation amongst public and private. Our honors college is a 4-year academic intensive program that is accessible to any student in any major, regardless of their interest. And there's an separate application process for that we can get into at the end. The University of South Carolina does a really great job of setting our students up for success overall. All students can internship or participate in a co-op before they graduate. Some are going to be embedded within their curriculum. Some is optional. It really just depends on what the student is interested in. We've had students intern not just within the state of South Carolina, but all across the country and globally. Our study abroad program is also very strong and dynamic. We have over 1,000 different programs that students can participate in, representing all 6 major continents. And our research opportunity is top-notch. Any student in any major can participate in undergraduate research before they graduate. You are eligible to apply for research grants as well to get that research funded by the institution. And networking wise, we have over 300,000 active alumni who are consistently reaching out to our current students, faculty, and staff, trying to connect with students to help them either secure internships, co-op opportunities, or jobs post-graduation. So the saying always goes, once a Gamecock, always a Gamecock, and even after you graduate, you are always looking to give back to the Gamecock community. Just to go into a little bit about how to apply to the University of South Carolina, this is a really nice glimpse of our freshman profile. We had over 42,000 students apply to the university, and we enrolled about 6,200 of them. That average GPA that you see is between a 4.1 to a 4.7 on a 5.0 scale. We will put your GPAs for you on that 5.0 scale. You don't have to worry about recalculating those GPAs for you. As the rest of the reps in this presentation have said, we are also test optional for this year as we were last year. For those students who submitted SATs, the averages are below. We did super score for SAT and ACT. And so for anybody who is thinking about it, those were our averages for last year. Keep in mind for any juniors that might be in the room, we have not made a decision as to whether or not we will continue to remain test optional moving forward. But for seniors, we are test optional. There are two ways to apply to the University of South Carolina. You can either do so through the South Carolina application on our website or through the Common App. Application requirements. In order to complete your application to the University of South Carolina, you're just going to need a few things: your completed application, including your college essay, your unofficial high school transcript, and the school report. You'll need to self-report your senior year grades and select your top choice majors to be considered for admission. Everything else is optional. We ask that you do not submit letters of recommendation unless you are planning to apply to our honors college, which does require letters of recommendation. So if you are planning to apply to the honors college, you will need to submit 2 letters of recommendation, as well as complete 2 essays, a short answer, and while not required, a highly recommended resume. In order to apply to our honors college, you have to first submit an application to the general university. You cannot apply to the honors college first and then to the university second. So just keep that in mind as you're going through this process. And these are just some important dates to remember. Our October 15th application deadline has passed for early action, but students still have time to apply regular decision. They have until December 1st to submit their general application to the university. They have until January 15th to complete all of their credentials and get everything in, and then they will hear back from us in mid-March. Keep up with information regarding admitted student events and opportunities to tour campus. We plan on having large in-person events in the spring that we're really looking forward to, so hopefully we get to see you all on campus soon. And this is just a general information. I will put my contact info in the chat, so feel free to reach out if you have any questions, and I look forward to talking to you all soon.
Thanks very much. And our next presentation is from Coastal Carolina University.
No, I'm on mute, sorry. I just started talking and there it was. My name is Ashley Cohen. I am Associate Director of Admissions here at Coastal Carolina University. And I'm just going to give you a high-level overview of Coastal and what we have to offer. And then we'll be happy to participate in any questions that you all have after we wrap up. So can you see my screen okay? I hope so. So we're going to explore Teal Nation. That's what we call Coastal Carolina University, Teal Nation. We are located in beautiful, it's called Conway, South Carolina. We are about 10 minutes from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. We are a medium-sized institution. We have approximately 10,000 total students. And those students take classes in 5 different academic colleges and over 90 programs of study, everything from accounting to theater arts to intelligence and security studies to digital culture and design to marine science. A lot of different options for you in our 5 colleges, which are the College of Business, the College of Science, College of Humanities and Fine Arts, College of Education and Social Sciences, and then of course our HTC Honors College, where you can be any major and be in the Honors College. We love the fact that we have a 17-to-1 student to faculty ratio. Coastal does not have large lecture hall types of classes. The average class size for your first and second year are going to be around between 25 and 35 total students. And then as you get into those upper level classes, you're looking at the lower 20s for your average class size. And then 79% of our faculty possess doctoral or terminal degrees, which essentially means they're experts in what they are teaching you. It also gives you an opportunity as a student to participate in undergraduate research and get involved in internships and research opportunities with your professors, which is a really wonderful experience to have while you're at college. We also have a very vibrant student life here at Coastal. It's a beautiful campus located in a really fun area. And we have over 120 clubs and organizations that you can get involved in, as well as 19 Division I college athletic teams that you can either be a fan of if you're not going to play that sport, or you can get involved at the athletic level and play a sport in college. We also have club level and intramural level club sport organizations for you to get involved in, as well as all of our student life, everything from Greek life to religious organizations to the publications. We have a sea turtle club, we have a hammock club, we have a Quidditch team, we have all kinds of different things that we can offer our students as far as opportunities to stay involved outside of the classroom and really get involved in being a Coastal student. We come from all over Coastal. We call ourselves Teal Nation, and we get over 15,000 applications a year. We come from all over the country in that darker teal area, that east-ish I-95 corridors where the most of our students do come from, but we are half in-state. So 49% in-state, 49% out-of-state, and 2% international. So we have a large representation of geographic diversity, and that's something that we're extremely proud of here at Coastal as well. Again, we get over 15,000 applications. We offer to about 60% of the applicant pool, and a class of around 2,400 starts as freshmen. We're a residential campus, meaning you'll live on campus your first 2 years. Yes, freshmen can bring a car to campus those first 2 years. And then after those first 2 years, you're welcome to stay on campus if you find that convenient and great experience for you, or you can move to one of the many options for you off campus. Freshman requirements. Here's the middle 50% range for what we're looking for our out of our freshmen: a 3.2 to 4.0 for your GPA. That's weighted. ACT of a 19 to 24 and SAT of 1020 to 1150. Again, that's the mid 50% range. 25% are being offered at 25% are higher than those ranges and being offered admission to Coastal, and then 25% are lower than those ranges and being offered admission to Coastal. So there's not a minimum, but those are just the averages. We too are test optional. We actually went test optional right before COVID. So we were planning on doing test optional for students who have a 3.5 or higher GPA and a rigorous college prep program. And that means you can apply for test optional admissions. We also encourage students that are applying test optional to submit letters of recommendation and a personal statement or an essay. And I'll give you another detail about that here in just a second. We are rolling admissions, which I know is confusing because I just put a big old deadline up there on the slideshow. But what that is a priority date for consideration for our freshman merit-based awards. So we are rolling admissions. Our application is available now. You can apply via our own website, which is www.coastal.edu/apply, or you can apply via the Common App. And if you apply by the Common App, for those of you interested in test optional admissions, the essay prompt on the Common App does count for that essay. If you apply on our website, you'll need to send in that essay as a supplemental document. And it takes about 4 weeks from the time we receive a completed application for you to receive your admissions decision. And we invite you to come visit our beautiful campus, and I very much appreciate your attention today. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. And thank you to all of our presenters. We have just a few minutes before the session ends. And so I'd invite all of our presenters to join me back on camera for some Q&A. And our first question is, what is one piece of advice you would offer someone going through the college search process? And I'll ask that our presenters respond in the same order that they presented. So Morgan, you're up first.
So what do I think you should know going through the college process? This obviously has been a really weird 1.5 going on 2 years, but there have been some good things to come out of it. So take advantage of these unique virtual opportunities that we have never offered before. Clemson does have some virtual campus tours that were never offered before about a year and a half ago, and that can give you an even better picture and even more information about our university if you aren't able to come to campus in person. We also have a Zoom chat and functions as well, so you can get really quick answers to whatever questions you might have. So take advantage of the unique resources that have come from a really crazy time.
Yeah, I kind of want to go off what Morgan said. You know, it's a unique time. So take all the options that are out there, whether it be virtual, even not just High Point, with all the other schools. You know, visit campus when you can. Reach out to your admissions counselors. Ask those questions that you're scared to ask. I know when I went through the process, there was questions that I thought were, you know, going to be bad questions, but now going seeing both sides of it, it's not going to be a bad question. It's going to be a big decision for you. So really take all the opportunities you can to visit campuses, talk to your admissions counselors, and ask those questions that either you have or your parents have.
Our vice president for enrollment likes to often say that the college search process should be a match to be made and not a prize to be won. And what he means by that is if you're just chasing rankings for the sake of the prestige, you might not be at the right institution for you or for your family. And so take that into consideration when you're looking at colleges. Is it the right fit for you? What does fit mean for you? Is it the right location, the right cost? And how do you see yourself being there over the course of the next 4 years or so? So I'll leave you with that.
And I'll just say, I remember when I was in the college search process, I almost just followed my friends to where they were going. You know, there was these specific schools or regions which were common destinations, and I didn't. I ended up going to Eckerd. Of course, I'm really, really excited. I'm happy that I did that. But, you know, besides the point, I think, you know, there's just so many options to weigh, and don't let your decision be dominated by your peers. So whether that's a specific major or a location or the school size or whatnot, just make sure you're really clear on what you want and why you're going to school.
And I think I would add that we understand as admissions reps that you have all gone through a really crazy time during your high school career with everything that's happened. So, you know, give yourself some grace. We understand that not every school year was perfect because of the pandemic and what your high school might have chosen to do or not do, whatever the case may be. So just, you know, as you go through this process, remember to, you know, give yourself some grace, understand that this is, you know, a big process for everybody, and you are not alone in going through it, and that we as admissions reps are here to help guide you through this process.
It's really difficult to go last after all that great advice. I'm going to give two pieces of advice, if that's okay. The first one is to find your community. Go to a college where you can be a part of the community and you can stay involved and find things that call your passion. The second thing is, when you're starting this process, pick an email address, keep that email address, and make sure that you're checking your email, because all of us are communicating mostly through email. So your visit signups are going to be, your application materials and everything. So pick something consistent that you're going to stick with, and check it, because we're sending you lots of great information.
Excellent. Thank you all so much. Such great advice. So we are just about out of time for this session. So I do want to say thank you for joining us. A big thank you to our presenters for all the wonderful information that you've shared. When you close this window, there will be a link to a quick survey. We do appreciate any feedback you can provide. And from now until the top of the hour, when the next sessions start, you can join the college reps who presented this hour and chat with them in a breakout room. Click on the link in the chat, and you'll be able to find a recording of this session as well as others at strivescan.com/Chester County. So thank you all so much for spending some time with us this evening, and have a great rest of your day.